Welcome to the Nightly Rant
with
your hosts, Mike
and Torya.
This is the show where we examine society from a sarcastic point of view.
If you like insane conversations, this is definitely the show for you.
Let's get into today's topic. When are people going to learn not to mess with us?
Never.
Sure seems that way. Let me give some background. We have two very active YouTube channels. One, we've talked about before, what happens in Vegas.
Maybe once or twice.
My tech show, Gaining the Technology Leadership Edge. And it's an interview show. I have like multiple interviews in a week, and then I put out one episode a week. And it was getting to the point where it was overwhelming me for time. I just didn't have the time to deal with editing the videos and doing all the other things that I do for it. So about 3 months ago, I reached out. I hired a video editor, and the guy was green, but not
mega
too
green.
But he didn't come off as too green during the interviews. Like he did a sample edit. It was decent. We actually had two people do sample edits, and we both liked his way better than the other person. So we get started, and I had a complete style guide that I give to the guy, and I tell him what I want. And like the first video comes through, and I'm like, you didn't color correct it, and you didn't do this, and you didn't do
follow
that.
The style guide at all.
And there's all these issues, and we just kept having little issues. And then he'd be fine for a little while, and then he'd act up again. And then he'd be fine for a little while, and then he'd act up again.
Let's not talk about the 500 conversations you and I have had in the last month about color grading.
And then he would color grade, and he'd be like the latest one was, the after is so much brighter than the before. But yet you could clearly see that the people's faces, they were white people and they looked like black people.
It was like he was removing all brightness from the video.
It was really weird. Not to mention that during this 8 weeks worth of time, he was asked to give a flat fee per video. 8 different times during the 8 weeks, he asked for a pay raise. Now, when you're told to give your best price, the price you can live with, how is it you're asking 8 times in 8 weeks, once a week on average, to raise your price?
Because he bullshit low price to get your business and then wanted to scam you.
Exactly. And it was always something personal. I need more money for this, or I need more money for that. That's not my problem. I learned a long time ago that with employees and like contractors, their personal issues are not my issue. And yes, there are people who have worked for us for a long time that their personal issues, they're still not my issues, but I give a lot of leeway for it because they've earned it.
But somebody who's worked for us for 8 weeks has not
earned anything. Zero. Okay. So fast forward, he does it again yesterday. He asks for a pay raise, and I'm so tired of dealing with it.
So rudely.
He then he wants to upsell me to other services, like creating the thumbnail and what was the other thing he was offering to do?
Shorts.
Oh, and do shorts. I don't need that. I already have that covered. And we're not allowed to have someone do the thumbnails. We're working with a company to teach us all this, and they want us to do it. So we're doing it. We're sticking to our rules. I tell him this, and then he's, what do you think about the price? And I was like, to be honest with you, I'm not happy that you're asking for more money yet again. It's like ridiculous that you've only been here for 8 weeks. So I asked him, do you really think I'm 100% happy with your work? And he said, no. How do you ask for a raise when you know that the person's not happy with your work? But okay, He did it. Kudos to him. So I say to him, all right, fine. We'll do the increase for you. Effective next video. We'll do the increase. So I tell him, but it looks bad for you. Shouldn't be asking for more money this soon, especially not that many times. Then he says, then we'll just stick with the other price. I said, no, we won't. I already gave you the raise. We're done. I'm not talking about it anymore. So then later that day, I sent him a message and I just said, hey, regarding your new pay increase, I'm going to expect the turnaround time that we agreed to.
Which is reasonable. Since you hired him, he hasn't given you the turnaround time that he promised. He hasn't done anything that he promised, really. It's reasonable of you that you asked him, that you gave him a small increase that he asked for, and then wanted one of your conditions to be met.
One of the things that's been going on because he's just inept is I take I do my interviews on Zoom. So I download the Zoom video. I take it, I bring it into Adobe Premiere, and I have a tool that shortens the silence gaps. It cuts out the words, like it removes repeats. Sometimes people will say that first well goes away. I also put in the zoom in and zoom out for the pacing for him. Then I compile it as I call it the episode name raw, and I give it to him. And all he has to do is create the other 2 camera angles out of the sequence, and then boom, edit the video using, there are automated tools to do this too, using the multi-camera edit. I do everything else, and that's all he has to do. And then it even came down to that he's not literate enough with English to,
like, he can't spell things,
to add the text overlays. He can't do it. He doesn't understand the topic at all. He just can't do it. So then it became, you have to upload a copy from me that's edited. Then I have to give you the overlays. And then you add the overlays and you make any other changes that I asked for. Then I have to review it yet again. I have to review every video a minimum of twice.
It's already taking you longer than it would have taken you to edit it yourself.
It's insane. But remember, it wasn't because of not having time to edit.
Right.
It was that it was stressing me out doing all parts of it. So it's more about stress relief. Okay, fast forward, do all of that. And I asked that question. And then he comes back with, I have 2 requirements in order for that to happen. One was I have to give him at least 1 day notice. Then that's not 24-hour turnaround, is it?
No.
I have to give him at least 1 day notice. And I have to upload it between 6 and 7 a.m. my time. Okay. First of all, here's how I was wording things to him when I would send him a new video. Hey, dude, episode 75 is up there in frame. Here's what I need. I need some light color touch-ups on this thing. So-and-so's black hoodie came out gray. Fix that. Have it back to me. Let's say it's Wednesday. Have it back to me Friday by 8 a.m. my time. That's, by the way, first draft.
And that's you giving him like almost 2 full days. So
Correct.
Exactly what he asks.
So then I'm like,
in his
so here's the deal,
requirements.
bro. I'm not telling you a day ahead of time that I'm going to be giving you a video, because then I'm giving you 2 days notice. Why would I do that? And then number 2, I'm not uploading it at 6 o'clock in the morning. Eat my you know what. So then I explained what I just explained to you about how I've been assigning it and giving, come get it to me 2 days down the road at 8 o'clock in the morning. And on Fridays, I would ask for it by Monday at 8 o'clock in the morning. Bother, I'm not going to look at it over the weekend anyway. So why make the poor guy get it done, right? This is the thing. I want people to understand that I've been completely reasonable. I picked up a big load of the work for him because he couldn't figure it out. I did all of this stuff, and he has attitude.
He kept accusing you of being angry.
And I kept saying, dude, this is business. I don't get angry. This is business. I don't take stuff. You can only get angry if I take it personally. And I don't take that personally. So then after I say all that, he goes, then I don't know if I can do the 24-hour turnaround. Then I said something back. And he came back with some really tough, very nice comments, in my opinion.
12 rude messages in a row. And I can't remember what they were.
And sitting there in the car, and we're out of light. And I know I shouldn't be doing this, but I'm typing a response to him. And you're saying, oh, man, what he just sent, you were like, what he just sent would have been the end for me. And I go, guess what I just wrote to him? And I showed you that I fired him. Okay. He comes back and says, but I don't want to quit. And I said, it's too late. You're fired. Doesn't matter. You don't have to quit. You're fired. We're done. I'm not dealing with this anymore. You're wasting my time. I'm spending more time managing you than I was editing the video. And you're stressing me out. And that's the whole point, was to get rid of the stress. So he says, what? But then I made the mistake of ending the contract early.
Because you probably thought he was being paid directly at this point.
Yes. And so I end the contract, and then he can't put in his final time. So he requests to have it sent directly to his bank account, and it was his request. And so I tell him what we need, and he sends it to us. And then you say to me, look, we could pay him by a bonus. It's only one video that we owed him for. She says we could pay him by a bonus. Just give a bonus, and it'll go through.
All of the up and up without any extra hassle for Torya.
Sure, yes. We can do that. So then, when you close the contract, you rate the person. They don't get to see the rating until they rate you. So Torya tells me he rated us a 2.5. And I said, 2.5. I did 50% of your job or more for you, but I'm a 2.5. And I rated you as honestly as I could and tried to be nice about it. And I rated him a 4.0. And you heard all of what I said.
Right.
I say to him, dude, this makes me angry. You're lying. You're lying about me. And I have all the evidence I need to get your account closed. So maybe you should rethink what you did and edit that rating. He's, oh no, I'm so sorry. It was a mistake. One of my team members did it. BS, bro.
Team
BS.
members.
So he goes back and he changes it to 4.8, which means one of the things he marked us down on. I don't even know what they rate you on.
They get to rate you on the same things you rated them on.
How does it make any sense when adherence to schedule is one of the things, and I'm not the person that has the schedule, he is.
It's 5-star ratings. Maybe it's been a long time since I was on the freelancer side of a contract.
That's what I'm saying. It makes no sense for it to be the same exact ones because there's things like adherence to the contract and job performed to best ability. I don't have a job to perform for him. He's got a job to perform for me. But anyway, whatever it is, we obviously lost one of those. He didn't like it.
Right.
Whatever.
You got a 4-star in one of 5 categories.
So then I say to him, now that all this is taken care of, I'm blocking you here and I'm removing you from Slack. And I do that. And all of a sudden,
this dumbass little bitch lost his shit.
I see on Instagram that I have a message from somebody. And I go in and it's UMF. You blocked me and you blocked me and blah, blah, blah. He's going on and on. Then all of a sudden I go back to the other place and look, and he's now changed the rating to 1.0 and put down that we refuse to pay him. So I screenshot the very history that he also gets to look at and circle the part where it says he was paid and send it to him and say, now you need to go change that rating again because here's where I paid you. You can see that you've been paid. So now your comments are a complete and total lie. And then I proceed, because I know he's never going to do it, I proceed to respond to his review by saying, anyone who believes him and wants to see the receipts, I have all the receipts to prove that he's wrong.
Psycho did not end there.
So hold on. I'm like, I have a right to block you on this platform. I don't want you to ever apply for a job again. And me, 9 months from now, I'm going to be like, hey, babe, why does this guy sound familiar? And you're going to be, oh my God, it's that guy. And I won't know that. And I don't want to make that mistake. So You're blocked. I do that routinely with people on that freelancer site.
I know. Do you remember when that Osaro guy, he worked for us and then he ghosted us and then he applied for a whole bunch of jobs?
Yeah, that's why I blocked people, because it's just, I don't want anything more to do with you once the contract ends. Unless I want to rehire you at some point. He's done 2 SEO projects for us. He's done this. Didn't end there. What happened next?
He went crazy. He attacked your YouTube channel.
Well, first he threatened to F my family.
Yeah, that was.
And so then you filed a complaint with the freelancer site. Then he attacked the YouTube channel.
Yeah.
And the funny part was,
twice.
I love this. He puts down fake person, PEROSON, Peroson, and then puts terrible videos. All the information is incorrect. This from a guy who couldn't understand someone's last name at gmail.com was their email address.
Looking back on all of this, especially when you tell it like this, he was certainly outsourcing the work to someone else. They were doing the edits, because part of the argument he had with you yesterday, but I'm not making any profit. You're being paid a flat rate to edit the video. You're being paid.
Yeah, how are you not making a profit? I thought about that too. But I didn't want to get into that yesterday. But see, today he talked about his team member did it. Well, come on.
Right. So sharing that Upwork account with a bunch of different...
about that is, who was it that we were talking to in Slack, for instance?
Exactly.
Not always him.
Exactly. And that would very much explain why sometimes he was very coherent. And sometimes he was like a rambling psychopath that didn't understand a word you were saying.
Yeah. So that's been my day today.
It was a fun, drama-filled way to start the day.
He's a psycho. So the lesson I always like to say to, what's his name? Peter Heyer. He always disagrees with me on this 100% of the time, but I still think I'm right. Hire slow, fire fast. I probably should have fired him 2 weeks ago when I wanted to, but I let it slide to give him that last chance.
I'm pretty sure I told you should have fired him 2 weeks ago when he was bought. You gave him about 100 chances.
I'm not going any further than I went. There's no point. I knew I was done. I even said to you over the weekend, I remember saying to you, I'm considering whether I want to keep this guy or not. I mean,
fine once you're done.
When you have to be.
Right.
Yeah. So that's what happened. Don't hit yourself. Don't let the door hit you on the way out.
Oh, I'm pretty sure the door has hit him.
Crazy dude, right?
Oh, his initial message to you on Instagram was that he was going to F your family.
He's lucky that I didn't report him to the local police.
Try me. Yeah.
Torya had to provide a bunch of screenshots to the Freelancer company, and they're not going to be happy with his way he handled it.
No, they were already pretty displeased.
Yeah, because places like that need to do a better job protecting their client. And I don't feel like they protect their clients at all.
From them this morning,
the comment was that they can't remove the rating that he put on there. I don't believe that.
Number two, reviews before.
Yeah, but number two, if they don't remove it, then they're not protecting the client.
His excuse was the rating system is supposed to be unbiased and they're supposed to be able to leave their opinion. And I was like, bro, this dude went psycho and threatened our family.
Well,
do you think you should just leave his opinion up
but
on
not that. There's a history that shows he rated us 2.5, then 4.8, then 1.0. And here's the thing. All of those are timestamped.
Right.
So I can show them the conversation where I said, bro, you're mad because you think you didn't get paid. You got paid. You need to go change that or else I'm going to complain to the company. Then they can see the thread of, then all of a sudden it got changed to 4.8. And then I blocked him and said, you're blocked. And right after that, it got changed to 1.0. You'd have to be a moron not to be able to see what actually happened.
He changed his 1-star review like 7 times. I had so many emails. I was like, I'm going to turn my phone off.
He kept adding comments. He was overwriting the comments that were there.
Like an idiot.
There you have it. Lesson learned.
Thank you for listening to the Nightly Rant.
If you enjoyed the show, please give us a 5-star rating on Apple Podcasts or Google Play.
If you didn't enjoy the show, please just ignore that previous request for a rating.
This has been a Yogi's Podcast Network production.